First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of you being here. And when we're talking today, a lot of the content you're seeing, I want to remind you, is in beta. I have got a build that's kind of not the finalized, polished build that we will be releasing when it launches. So please keep that in mind. If, you know, it freezes, crashes, has weird textures or bugs, it's likely going to be polished out, okay? Secondly, I will do my best to answer any and all questions regarding Fata Morgana. I only got access to this update yesterday. We were patching out a bunch of different things that I wanted to showcase and figuring things out. So if you know, there's things, like I said, a beta build. So, and I am, you know, as familiar as I can be in the last 24 hours. I've spent about 8 hours in Dungeon Alchemist in Fata Morgana getting used to it. You are a damn follower. Anyway, so, this update will be launching before month's end, okay? So right now, I would like you to know that we are already in Fata Morgana. This is actually an oasis that I built just a little bit earlier, that I generated and started just kind of playing with. And I'm going to kind of just look around before we get out into a biome. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to start a new map here. We'll come back to this one in a minute, okay? So, there are 2 new biomes in this update. As in previous, you know, prior to the last update, you got jungle biome. Before that, we had forest and grasslands, and you also had dark parchment. The 2 new biomes are Badlands and desert. So, oh, there's a lot of new stuff, VTT Tom, a lot. And we will cover some of it today. I will do my best to pay attention to chat, but because there's so much going on in chat with both the giveaway as well as so many viewers right now, chat is flowing really fast, so I sometimes miss things. Like it's... Let's do a 10-second slow mode here. That ought to make it easy to... So, desert is very deserty, like sand and dunes. Getting back into that. And Badlands is more like... rock, sandstone, you know, dry mud, or, you know, cracked mud, etc. Hey, how's everyone doing? So, we've got people today, I'm assuming, from the Discord, a lot of faces from our Discord. We likely have faces from Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, as well as return faces who are, you know, our regulars here on Twitch. And I just want to say welcome to all of you, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to generate a desert first. So, Tara Westlick says, my new D&D 5e campaign is 100% DA maps. Players are loving it. I bet. That's awesome. That's really cool. I'd love to see your maps sometime. Let's see here. Let's do dunes. And we'll do no water, and we'll do it at water level. And for vegetation, do you guys want oasis, cacti, saguaro, or just regular cacti? I'm looking at chat, trying to see what y'all say. Cacti seems to be a popular one. You know what? We're going to go cacti this time, okay? We'll generate a few maps and we'll take a look at them. You guys will get to see a lot of them. So, the dunes have a very neat natural wave to them. First off, let me just make sure. And as you can see, the cacti are very, very, very neat. Fun. The dunes are very, very, they're very neat waves. I grew up around in like a desert climate most of my life. So I live in Las Vegas now, which is basically desert. All around me is red rock and sand and desert. And then I grew up in southern Utah, which is also desert. So I know a lot about, I spent a lot of time on sand dunes. I spent a lot of time near cactuses and in deserts, camping, motorcycles, paintballing, hiking. You're moving to Vegas in January? Well, welcome. You're in southern Utah? Nice. I grew up in St. George. That's crazy. Vamp, that's awesome. So this, if you looking at this is like, you know, a great example of a sand dune. For anyone who's seen a sand dune in real life, I personally think this is very close. Naxen asks, will you have the ability to paint footprints, animal tracks, wagon tracks onto sand surfaces? You know, that's a great suggestion. And right now that's not a static feature or a built-in feature, but you could definitely do it in like post in a photo editor or something. But yeah, I was St. George, born and raised. Grew up there, hiked Snow Canyon, hiked Zion. I love, I hate the sand. It's coarse, it gets everywhere. But yeah, I love the desert and desert climate. So, but oh man, it's been getting hot. But anyway, this is a very accurate representation of this. So while we're here in these sand dunes, I would like to share with you a feature that is coming up, and sorry, chat is just making me excited. So this feature, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get the exact name of it, is called cinematic mode. I've been calling it screenshot mode, so it is actually called cinematic mode. And some of you may notice this button up here in the top right that's like a little camera icon. When you click cinematic mode, you now have a lot more range, a free range of your camera. And the first time you open it, there's a tutorial. Unfortunately, I've already opened that. But you use ASDW to move the camera around at different angles. And you also can use spacebar to rise up. So you can look around, go up and down, left and right. Oh, it looks like Q goes down and E goes up. So there is, you know, relevant to the direction you're looking. And this allows you, now some people are like, what is the point of this? This makes zero sense in a top-down perspective. Okay, actually, this is great because I'm sure many of you have heard of theater of the mind, right? So with theater of the mind, you typically just have a single screenshot to set the tone of the environment you're trying to describe. And a picture paints 1,000 words, but guess what? You can take a screenshot by tapping F, as you can see, or you can also record by hitting R. And it starts recording. You can, you know, drive around and do your thing. Now, imagine, if you will, the recording is actually very, very helpful in a lot of ways. And let me explain this. I see it as very useful. Sorry, this thing is trying to save, and I'm trying to show this to you. So it'll open up a save window if you're in Windows, and then you can choose where to save it. You could set the name of it, and then save. And then it saves it there, and you can check it out later. Same thing when you screenshot. So let's say you take a screenshot. You could save it there, and you're done. This is actually very simple and straightforward, and it takes the picture without that UI at the top where it says escape, R, and F. So it gives you the ability to take full screen screenshots and video without the UI present, which is pretty cool. I want to show you on a map how intense and cool that can be, actually. So a lot of you have been in our community for a while and are familiar with a map I shared some time ago. So I'm trying to find where I made a crazy cave map many months ago. And this is not Fata Morgana content, the map, but I want to show you how Fata Morgana utilizes this content and how you can use it in yours. So let's open up cinematic mode. Now this map was a cave I built some time ago. It's like a mine shaft. And I mean, you could essentially do like a theater to the mine shot where they walk into the mine and they look around and kind of get a lay of the land and just do like a 10-second scene and put that as a trigger when they enter that scene for the first time and the video plays. You could do chase scenes where they're running through the environment and it appears like they're being chased and they're looking back and they're like, I gotta get somewhere safe. But this map, honestly, when I built it, I didn't really consider how top-down Dungeon Alchemist worked because I was new to map making in it. And I made this when I was very new to Dungeon Alchemist. But this map it just looks so amazingly beautiful in this perspective. And you really there's so much to look at and take in and, download and adore. And ultimately, the speed is fixed at the moment. For the camera, there's not many camera controls. However, this is the first iteration of this, so I imagine with time we'll get more controls. So it saves as an MP4 for video, and it saves as a JPEG for the screenshots. And that's just, like I said, the first iteration of this. So keeping that in mind, almost every time we roll out a feature, it gets better and better, and the quality of life with it improves each update. A controller could help, true. Honestly, I do think with time, you'll understand that this is just one way to utilize this, though. But yeah, controller input could definitely help with Steam. So, I mean, Steam supports the controller. You could set it up, and it would probably be much better for gliding through and recording. Anyway, so I'm going to get out of this map and get into Fata content again, because you guys, I'm sure, want to see that, right? So, we're in the desert now, again. Let's do a Grand Canyon. People wanted to see cacti saguaro. And we're going to flood that canyon. So as you see here, yeah, that would be cool to set it follows a track, yeah, for like rigging. So there is a way to, you know what? No, we'll cover it next time. We'll cover it next stream. Anyway, so here we have a Grand Canyon, and this was just quickly generated. Let's say you don't like this Grand Canyon. We can just regenerate it. Let's set it to river. Arizona, right? We are basically in Arizona right now. I would like to show you guys Crater as well. That's one of my favorite. Dense growth. And I love these little craters. So you could make that like a volcano or an impact crater. Reminds you of Lake Powell. And Lake Mead's so empty right now. Right? The river forked. It looked different. The Yamcha map option. The size, the vegetation you set, all makes different. Right now, I'm just generating through desert to show you some of the stuff it can do. So the desert generation for just environmental alone is very beautiful. There's a lot to it. I love the island generation. They look very Sea of Thieves. Has anyone in here played SOT? It's one of my favorite games. Okay, did the giveaway get announced? Who won? Okay, Dead Meat Gaming, are you here? They claimed it. I didn't see it. Sorry. Dead Meat Gaming, can you whisper me, please, on the Dungeon Alchemist account, and then I will send you a code afterwards? Oh, wait. Congrats, Dungeon Alchemist? No, that's not who won. Why did it say that? Well, I have their name here. I'm going to just see if they're still here. We're going to wait a minute. I want to get this sorted. So far, we've been kind of chatting about the new update, showing the new biome. There they are. Oh, I see it up above. I see it. Okay. Dead Meat Gaming, can you whisper me, please? Okay, sorry. The chat is just all over the place. Message me, whisper me either. Yeah, here on Twitch would be the best because then it's tied to your name. So if you could just send me, what do they have now? Whispers, yeah, the private messages. And I will, after you message me, I will shoot the code to you. Congrats to Dead Meat Gaming. Can everyone say congratulations to our winner? So, for those of you that are new here and you're like, what the heck am I looking at? This is Dungeon Alchemist, and I am the community manager, Mac. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making utility. It's available on Steam. And if you're a GM or a player, it's a great utility to help you build maps for your campaigns. It's very awesome. I liken it to, sort of like certain games like Steam or like Sims where you build a map and environment, but it's directly related to your campaigns. Our software can export to your VTT of choice. So if you use, say, Foundry or Fantasy Grounds or Roll20, we have direct export for those, direct support for them. You also can support for universal VTT. You can export an image. And so if you export an image, you could take that to a print shop, get a big poster made, or you could put it through a program like Remy, what is it? The poster maker with Photoshop or Adobe Poster Maker, Poster Builder. They essentially, it is or if you find like a rasterizer, you can take the big image and break it up into, say, 8.5 by 11s that your printer can print. And you could print it and then just tape them together, stitch them together, and use them for tabletop gaming at home. Alternatively, you can use Dungeon Alchemist as a pseudo-limited VTT, where, you put it in the top down, or you could just export the image and use that on the screen because you can set a grid to this. Oops, wrong one. So let's say you play in person with printed maps or a TV. Put a grid on it when you export it and save it as a JPEG, and it'll have this grid on it. Adobe Acrobat has poster print option. Awesome. Yeah, see, I use Rasterbator. I think it works great. It's a free utility online. You just put the image in, and then you tell it what size of paper you want to print in, and then how many tiles you want it to be optimized to. So like a 40 by 40 is like 12 8.5 by 11s. It's a fun name, right? Fog of War is something that I know the devs are strongly considering. There's no guarantee on that, but it is something that they've heard a lot of feedback about and people are interested in. Many of you, if you're not aware, we have what's called an upvote. Upvote is the home of our roadmap and our suggestion board. There are numerous suggestions on there, and many of them have lots of votes and comments on them. And the more votes and comments they get on them, the more likely the devs will take them seriously because they think the community really wants it. So, you know, a lot of the suggestions people say are, hey, is Fog of War coming? Things like that are likely on that suggestion board. I just dropped the link in chat. I highly recommend, if you're not in our upvote, to check it out. I'm actually going to do a couple shameless link drops really quick. What kind of program are you saying there? House store? Also, I would like to take a moment, like I said, to just drop a couple links. If you're not a member of our Discord, I would very, very, very much recommend that you join our Discord. It is kind of the centralized home for Dungeon Alchemist. Our Discord is a great location to ask questions, get support. You can post your maps, share the DAM files or images of them. You can just chat. We also have GM dedicated channels so you can pick the brains. Yeah, of course. I mean, wouldn't you say this is an entire map, Rover? Here, let me set a new map. We'll set it 40 by 40. I'm going to set it to digital so I have no size restrictions. We're going to switch to Badlands now. And let's set this one to a flooded ravine. Now, there is a way to do a whole dungeon, if that's what you mean, like a whole environment all at once. Eventually, that's on our roadmap, and it's called Instant Dungeon. That will be a future update, which there's no fixed launch for at this time. The closest I can give you to any updates launch time is our next update, which we're showcasing right now, Fata Morgana. I guarantee you it'll launch before the end of the month. This video will be available as a VOD on Twitch immediately after the stream and will be available on Facebook and our Facebook and YouTube within 24 hours. So this is the Badlands, and as you can see, it's more of a sandstone with like very, very sedimentary layering. Thank you, Vim, for tuning in on that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. If you own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, whether you got it in our Kickstarter or on Steam, all of our updates that were part of our Kickstarter roadmap and stretch goals will be free. So, yes, it is free. This update will be free to everyone who owns Dungeon Alchemist already. It is a very beautiful biome, and this reminds me straight up of where I live and grew up. There's a national park near here called Red Rocks. Red Rocks National Park, and honestly, I mean, a lot of it looks like this. The water, not so much, but the rock itself. So the Badlands biome is something you would kind of set up where instead of it being endless dunes, it would be more like a rocky, mixed with sand terrain. Get down into the cinematic mode we talked about earlier, and we'll kind of just fly through and get a close bird's eye view of all this. See, me in a campaign, if I was doing something like this, I would like say my players walked up to the edge of this and saw the canyon with the water. I would set up like a walking scene where it appears like they're walking up, and then they look around, and then they look down and kind of just peer over and see how bad it is, so they know exactly what they're looking at. You know, I mean, how many times have you as a GM in chat, I'm asking you all right now, has your player been like, how far is that? Can you explain how deep that is, or how tall that is? Sure, let's add some buildings. So I was going to go over biomes in depth first before I started showing off buildings, but why not? Let's do some buildings. So In the draw room tool, as you guys are aware, you have the many different room types. For this update will be desert. There are a few room types. I'm not sure if there will be any more come launch. Vim, if you're still here, maybe you can verify. But right now there are 4 types. So we have hovel, palace baths, palace hammam, and residential tent. We're working on more? Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, this looks really cool. Saw someone ask that in chat, so I just had to give it a try really quick. Okay. Let's go ahead and generate. Let's do a tent first, okay? We'll put it at the top of this mountain. Oop, that was actually... Oh, it cut. Yeah. Water level's way down there. It's okay. I can clear the terrain. And while I'm here, I'll show you a couple other things. So there's new terrain brushes specific to the biome. You can see here there's lots of different desert sand, sandstone, more darker kind of reddish sand. Oh man, that stuff turns your socks red and orange. Come to the desert. As you can see, these different paints. Okay, cool. Awesome, good to know. No time like the present, right, Vim? Right, seems like put it in here. But these tents are very interesting. Certain portions of them, you can actually, like on the doorways, and this is another new feature. The color slider will be available on many objects. Many objects. And I don't know if it'll be all objects, but a lot of objects. And Vim, you told me this, you're adding them one at a time by hand, right? So it's a color slider. So watch this doorway. It's slowly changing hue. Let's get in a little bit closer so we can really see it. For real, I agree. The devs, the artists, they work so hard for this community. You guys have no idea. Like, they put in so much hard work in the back end. And like I wish I knew like all the stuff they know and know how to do. They are so incredibly talented and smart. Honestly, I feel like I kind of like just being the face you guys see. I'm really not the person making all this. I'm just the one, you know, making all the fun images and, you know, showcasing different maps and streaming. I'm, you know, just these Bim and Carl and our different artists. They're so incredibly talented. And honestly, I just want to take a second and thank them and congratulate them on their efforts for this update because it is looking so amazing. I will be showcasing that a little bit later, Vim. No spoilers, bruh. Oh, okay, company. We don't need a repeat. If you keep saying that, we'll have to time you out, okay? But thank you for the info. So, I want to kind of get into this room down at the cinematic level and just show you some details. This is one of our new pillows. It's an ottoman. And honestly, the fiber, the textures on it are so incredibly detailed. Both the rug work, you know, like the embroidery, as well as the actual texture of the fabric. It's incredibly beautiful. One second. So, as you can see here, I mean, you get really into it if you guys can see those textures. Let's take a look at a couple other objects in here. Now, when you're in this mode, one thing that's really cool is you can actually interact with objects that kind of are interactable. So you see this this lamp here. You can actually left click on it and turn it on and off. So let's say there's like, you know, a lantern, you want to turn it off, or a torch or something. You also, let's see here, there's a couple other things, so like switches and certain things you can create the floor level when you generate the map, and I'll show you that in a bit, Bojack. It'll just have to wait a moment. No, it will not. I'm not, as far as I'm aware. All the UI does not show up in the recording. Let's look at this chair here. Look at more textures, both in the wood. I mean, you can really get in deep and look at stuff with this camera. I really love the cinematic mode. They're a two-man team. They are honestly, seriously, I honestly thought that Dungeon Alchemist was a team of like 40, 50 people when I first joined. And when Vim told me it was just 2 devs and a handful of artists, I was so shocked. So shocked. Okay, so this is a new object here. I'm going to make it bigger so you can really see it. As you can tell, this is a hookah pipe, a water pipe. And these there's actually a color slider on these, so you can kind of go through them and change them and make them different. So you were asking a moment ago about floor level. When you generate a new map, when you go to generate the map, if you set the room placement at water level, it'll be at water level height. Plateau is a little bit higher, and mountaintops is the highest. You can only set room placement height when you generate the map, and it's fixed at that height for the whole build, unless you get creative with objects. After our most recent update, Abandoned Ruins, we now have hundreds of structural objects. Pair that with other objects like dog houses, doll houses that can be oversized to look like small houses and villages, and then combine that with the collision toggle. You can actually merge these houses together to make new and unique ones that look different. So you can actually make a variety of different homes and objects at different levels and heights. I've actually seen castles, keeps, a castle up on a hill while the village was down below it, and there was like kind of a looped or like a switchback going up to it. You just got to get creative in how you build. But in the object panel under structural, there is all these stone construction objects, and I'm going to show a few of them, which are the new ones that are coming out in Fata Morgana. But there's some of the older ones like these that you can use to build castle walls or keeps or castles themselves. And a few members of our community have made incredibly beautiful structures that way. And I imagine we could also, make ourselves some, temples or other structures of that nature using these. Now, let me show you what I mean. Big there. Side. Put it right on top of it, so you could make like a guard tower, or put them in tandem with these walls to make a wall or to make a building. So there is a color shader on the books, but I found out this morning that it still needs some work, and I shared that with Vim. It's known. So let's go to this particular stack of books. I don't think has a color slider yet, but the flat laying down book. Stack of books, and then there's a singular. So like this one here, but it seems to just do shades of gray at the moment, no real color. I pointed that out to Vim. So we're kind of doing last minute bug busting, and little things like that are stuff we're trying to work out. Okay, so now while we're on the subject of these tents, I wanted to show you one other one, and structural objects. There's actually quite a few structural tent objects, including round tent sides. So you can, turn off your collisions, put them in tandem with the other tent walls to make, bigger openings that kind of look cool. Maybe put these drops over them and stuff like that. Yep, exactly. So once you copy a color object, you can copy it again and it's that same color. So let's say you made the round tent walls actually can be changed. Here, I'm going to generate a new environment that's flat because this is hard to build on. 1 second. We'll go to Badlands, we'll go to flat. So a flat Badlands is a little bit easier to just kind of build a round room on, and I'll show you what I mean. So under structural, one of the new objects we have is, like I said, these rounded tents. And we had round walls in our last update. This is an iteration add-on to that, so it expands that. And the cool thing about these tents, they're resizable. They're also recolorable. So you can color them to a different shade, and then duplicate them, and then they are all that shade. And hold Control to snap them together so they are as close together as possible. Shift and roll your mouse wheel to rotate them. And as you can see here, I made a round tent. You did it? Awesome. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it or not. Thank you so much for taking my suggestion. Honestly, I am very, very excited for this update. And like, I actually am excited for it because the last update, I joined the team right before it went live, and so it was like crazy, and I was new to everything on the back end, and I really didn't have any feedback on that update. But this update I did, and I actually had a couple object suggestions. I'm going to show those next. So a couple months ago, I went to Vim, and I said, hey, I would love to see an Ozbod in Dungeon Alchemist. And I sent him a link of them. And these Ozbods, if you're not familiar, these are the oldest, still continuously running windmills in the world. Yeah, if we could get a cannonball, that would be awesome too. But Ozbods, they're actually active Ozbods in all over in the Middle East, and they were essentially used as like grain mills. And but as you can see here, another new feature that I can't get away from ignoring and telling you about is the play button for animations. You can now disable and enable animations, so if they're taking up a lot of your operational power for your computer, you can disable them. Yep. So as you can see, there's a lot of new little quality of life features getting added, as well as lots of new objects, lots of environments, new buildable rooms. So these are like essentially a windmill, and I personally just love this asset. Thank you so much for adding it, Vim. I'm glad that you did. The other one I suggested was a Yach shawl. Let's do a smaller one. Oh man, they're what? Off them. And a Yach shawl, if you're not familiar, they're basically a freezer, and they utilize thermodynamics and a clever construction design to filter air in different directions to keep the bottom area very cool and almost freezer temperatures. It looks like these are a fixed size. I don't think they can be resized, but one thing I will like to point out is you can take the dome off and look inside. The Havster asks, I had a lot of trouble with Dungeon Alchemist because I use a trackpad. I can't reassign buttons, or at least I haven't figured out how. Does anyone know how to help with that? Does anyone in here know how to help with that offhand? I'm going to keep showcasing. Maybe someone in chat can help him. 1 second here. I'm actually going to send Dead Meat their key. The key from the giveaway, before I forget. Meat, I see your message. Right now. If you're still here in chat, if you could just confirm in chat in public that you got the key. That's a good question, Wolfie. At this time, I'm not aware of any. There are a couple that fit in corners pretty well. Dead Meat Gaming, though, I did just send you that key. If you are still here, you got it. Awesome. Congratulations again to Dead Meat Gaming. We did a giveaway a little bit earlier, right at the beginning of the stream, for a copy of Dungeon Alchemist. That's our way of showing our appreciation for you being here, supporting the stream, being a part of the channel, being a part of the community. We're still doing the showcase. We have at least another hour and 15 minutes of showcase to go, Old Times Tavern. You haven't missed much. So we're going to keep going, okay? Also, I think we'll probably do another giveaway. So if you didn't win the last one, stick around. You'll have a chance to win the next one. One moment. Okay, so another thing that is coming out, and I've been told this feature is still being worked out a little bit, but a lot of people have requested this. Prior to this last update, AI was just on and off, and that was it. But the AI settings have been refined and have more detail and options to them. And I'm going to show you that, but I will be honest with you that I've been told that they're not fully functional yet, so keep in mind it may not work fully until the launch. But essentially, you have these checkboxes where you can turn off objects, lighting, walls, windows, and doors. So essentially, you can instruct the AI to say no doors, no windows, no walls, no lights, or no objects at all, and it will then generate that room without it. Honestly, this update is chock full. It's honestly, the quality of life features is a crazy, they're awesome. I mean, obviously we've got cinematic mode, we've got the AI. The next one I'm going to show you is the craziest one, okay? But before we do that, I want to go back to the map I had earlier that we were... Second. I had open. So remember that Oasis I had open? Oh no, it crashed. Loading map. Load map. Stream crash. Mac, DM me, and we'll submit this report. Cool. Hopefully it doesn't take forever. It doesn't take much more than a couple of seconds. There we go. Remember, you guys and gals, if your DA crashes, if at all, if it's a smaller map especially, please submit a bug report. Bigger maps, it's harder for it to submit the map with it, so it sometimes bugs out. But please, 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 if you can, I'm going to reload Dungeon Out. If you can at all, make an attempt to submit bug reports. It helps us refine the product with each update. And like I said, we are in a beta build, so I kind of expected a little bit of crashing or possibly, you know, something like this. Okay, so we're back at my Oasis map from earlier. Well, after this update, Bardis, you'll be able to record in whatever resolution you have your screen at on your Dungeon Alchemist on your computer. So let's say you have it to 1080, you can record in 1080, and then you can output to 1080 on your television so you won't have that fuzziness. It will export to MP4 in cinematic mode. So when it records in the cinematic mode, it exports to an MP4, and when you take screenshots in cinematic mode, let's get up here and take a screenshot. You press F. It brings up the save prompt. Wicker chairs. You type in the name of what you want to save. You tell it where you want to save. So in my case, I have a screenshot spot. Put it in there. And now it saved this screenshot. And you can move around and get a different one. And then every time you press F, it does another screenshot. It's very, very intuitive, simple, easy to use. You use WASD to move around. You use Q and E as well as the space bar. There's subtle different camera controls to kind of go up and down. It's very, very straightforward. And the first time you open it, there's a tutorial that guides you through it. And you can check it out anytime you want by going under the help menu. Now, let's see. What have we covered? Okay, we've covered round tents. Let me cover an awesome new feature now that we're in this map, and it's time to showcase it. There has been a crazy new quality of life update. Many of you are familiar in our last update. Thank you for that water. We had the object brush added, and many of you wanted, more refinement in the UI of the object brush, and we took that information, those suggestions to heart, and we refined it. So now the object eraser is front and center. Well, what you would have to do is set your resolution to a 16:9 resolution. So if you go into your screen res, you can adjust it in here and then record it at that with your screen recording software like Slobs or OBS or whatever you use to record. So now using the remove object or the object eraser is what I would call it personally. But you now can, that used to be at the bottom of the list. There was a whole bunch of object brushes. It was hidden at the bottom. Now it's front and center at the top. Very easy to find. And now we have categorized our object brushes into different ones. So you now have nature, rock formations. By the way, there's new desert rocks, i.e. sandstone. Please, Vim, change it to sandstone. It's driving me crazy. I living in the desert all my life, it's either been called sandstone or red rock. So, paste that really quick. I mentioned it in our DM chat, but I think you might have missed it. We've talked about a lot the last week, and there's been a lot going on. But as you know, as you go through the object tabs, all of these different brushes are available now. We used to have like 10 brushes, and now there's 50, 60. Oh my gosh, you guys and gals are going to love the pillow brush. One thing I've noticed, Vim, too, is the pillows don't stack on each other like other objects tend to when you use the brushes, or some brushes do. I don't know. They just kind of fill in an area, and that's it. But there's so many pillows in this new update. And the pillow brush is a great way to illustrate that and to go in and look at all the beauty of them. Let's get the cinematic mode. Get in close and take a look at these bad boys. Unfortunately, that isn't, as far as I'm aware, that is not in this update. It would be awesome if the UI, when you selected it, showed the object's name, especially after you generate a map and you want to know the name of an object, or if you're loading into someone else's. Bardis, that's been heavily requested on our upvote. I'll drop a link for you right now. Our upvote is our roadmap and suggestion board. If you open that link in a new tab, create an account, drop suggestions or vote up the current suggestions and leave comments on them, as well as check out our roadmap, what's in progress, what's planned, etc. Let me see if I can do anything to speed up the stream, okay? I'm gonna close a few things on my end to see if I can. Tabs. Yep, I could use a new graphics card. Wink, wink. I closed a handful of tabs and a couple of apps that I didn't need open anymore. I would love to be able to stack pillows using the object brush, because you can stack them by hand and move them around, but they don't stack using the brush. I would love it if they could stack to a degree. Seconded. So I just paused the stream. I'm not watching the live feed of it anymore. I'm only watching it through my Streamlabs feed. That way it should help tremendously with all of the lag drop. Sell these pillows as merch. You know, we're working on a merch store. Vim, I need to talk to you about that after, tomorrow or Monday or whatever, but I would like to get back on that. But I would I have a few ideas for merch, including, at least seasonal merch, as well as themed merch around Dungeon Alchemist, and a couple of meme merch ideas. But the pillows, back to that, are very, very incredibly detailed. Who was the artist that helped us with this? Yeah, I know. So I don't like to get into my personal life, but a couple of years ago, my wife got really ill and had to go to the hospital for like 6 months, and it basically wiped out our finances and ability. And I sold one of my computers, and so I'm down to one single computer as a stream rig and gaming rig. Ah, well, that's good. I was wondering what was going on with that. I went to log into it the other day, and it looked like you changed the info, so I was like, and I wanted to make sure I didn't do anything wrong, but that's good to know. Good to know. Pillow Geddon. You know what? Let me get rid of the pillows here. We'll erase a few of them. And the Ozbod. I would love to get the Imp logo on a snapback hat, as well as a beanie and a hoodie. Just like a comfy hoodie with just a big pocket on the front. Greater Monster, I know the search is not very great on upvoting, so do your best to search several, variations of the same request. If you can't find it, type it in, make a request. Our helpers, our mods, will usually merge it with one if it exists. Now, let's take a look at the treasure brush. So there's more than just piles of coins. The gems could drop diamonds more. IMO, Vim, it drops them very infrequently. Oh my gosh, a plushie of Hendrik would be so amazing. A plushie of Hendrik, our imp, I would kill to have that. So when I streamed on Mixer, they sent the partners on Mixer a plushie of one of their Mixer robots, and it would be so awesome to have a Hendrik. My gosh. And I would love to have an embroidered snapback. I may just order my own. But honestly, I appreciate all the suggestions for merch. They're very much appreciated. I had an idea for a shirt where I was going to make a big, just dam, like a water dam in Dungeon Alchemist, and then that would be the image in the center, and it would just say, "This is my dam shirt." Because we lean into the damn, give a damn stream, damn challenge, whatever. We lean into that pretty hard, and I love that we do. Mixer has been gone, man. I hold it tenderly in my heart because I was a partner there. Rip the Mixer. Anyway, it's old news now. But yeah. Team signed gear, maybe something like that for a giveaway would be cool. Anyone have any damn bait? But yeah, the merch store is going to be called the Damn Store, or the Damn Merch Store. Here's a book brush. There's so much to the brushes now. So you have a lot more variety in dropping objects. Right? That's exactly where they filmed it. Signed hammer from Dag. Any more on the software? I'm showing it right now, actually, this object brush. We're kind of showcasing all the different object brushes you can use. While we're on the subject of the treasure, many of you were, a couple months ago, we threw down a challenge in our Discord that if we hit 1,000 retweets on a very specific tweet on Twitter, that we would add a content pack of treasure-related items to this update. And I kind of put together this idea and took it to Vim and Carl, and they're like, oh, okay, let's try it out. And honestly, I know a lot of you were very keen to get more treasure objects. You were constantly asking for it. And so I was glad to try and make that happen. Hey, Juxtaposed Bliss. You know what? That's actually a very good question for Vim if he's still around. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem to recolor the objects that have it, but it would be nice to add that into the generation. Oh, the imp is very much an object. Let's see here. This is Hendrik right here. The loading logo. I'm sure you guys recognize this guy. So let's go back to these treasure objects here. So there's a lot of new treasure related objects and items. We have, here, let me put a table down or something to. There's also some new tables. There's so many new random objects. I really love these marble tables. They're really beautiful. New treasure. So we have leather pouches. So pouches of coins. There's actually several leather pouches. This one here, the purple one, you can actually change the color on. And kind of make it all sorts of different colors. We have stacks of coins, which you can just kind of hold shift and keep dropping them. I've noticed they don't rotate, Vim, like some objects do. So they're all the same orientation, which kind of reduces their variety. There are, as you can see, silver or platinum bars, you could call them, gold bars, large and small bars of treasure. Larger stacks of coins, etc. So you have a variety of new, or even just a singular coin, and a bag of coins that is open. There's also been a request, but to have a bag of coin on its side that's spilling out coins. I don't know if you saw that in official content discussion, Vim. I don't even know if it's too late for that at this point. There was also one more object. The treasure chest. This one is a very treasury chest. Looks, very, very much like it's got something in it that's worth stealing. It would be cool if we could have a chest that could open, kind of like those ones in like aquariums that just open and then there's gold inside. Excuse me. It's getting a little bit scratchy. I mean, you could just do it for big loot piles. And honestly, I gotta hand it to the devs on the detail on these coins. Just look at this. It's stunning. There was talks of the content pack including a treasure chest and a treasure chest. So we'll see what that means when the update comes out. But look at the details on the coins, on the leather pouches, on the chest itself. Well, the cool thing is with cinematic mode, you can now get in and take screenshots at like eye level. You know, it'd be cool to do like a recording of walking into a tavern and looking left to right and eyeing everyone in the bar and kind of getting a lay of the land as you walk in. Oh man, that would be cool. You know, I could actually probably 3D print this if I definitely could 3D print this if I had a file for it. Because I could just throw that in my resin printer and pop them out. And then I could, there's a new method for metal plating resin prints. And so I could just make it look gold or silver or whatever. Could be cool. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I really do love the addition of the content treasure. And we added, you know, just a handful of new items, but it gives you a lot more options for your treasure piles. Before, it was just a big pile of gold, a handful of, you know, random golden objects, but now you got a lot more diversity. Treasure merch. Nice, nice. So a couple years ago when I went to E3, before, you know, the pandemic and whatnot, I actually 3D printed a bunch of bottle openers that were just like a round coin that said all of my like stream info on it, front and back, and then it had a bottle opener in the middle because I was like, you know, most adults genuinely use bottle openers. And so I, you know, I like giving those out as my kind of merch item when anyone recognized me, or if I was networking with someone, I'd give them a business card and a bottle opener. Thank you, Vim. I must have missed that. Chat is just going on and on and on. Anyway, so we have, you know, been talking for a bit about the various things that are coming in the next update. Different objects, different features, different biomes, different room types. Let me check my checklist here and see if we've missed something. One thing that I think a lot of you will love, and this has been asked for a lot, a way to favorite objects. So let's say there's an object you use heavily, or an object you found, you like it, and you don't want to go digging deep for it, or you don't know the name of it. You can actually favorite items now. When you highlight the item, it shows a little heart. So you can click the heart, and it adds it up here to favorite objects. Mr. Manfran Jansen, that's a very good question, and we're not going to talk about it this stream, unfortunately. You're just going to have to die a little bit inside knowing that information. Just know it'll be revealed next Saturday. Remy, you're taking off? Oh, you're going to have to call it a night? Hey, thank you, Vim. You have a good one. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I appreciate you so, so much, my man. We'll talk later. So, few chest-related objects are being added. Ooh, I got to note that as a bug. The black pawn is missing its texture there. So you can actually place out some big chess pieces here. And using, tricks I've taught you guys and gals in previous streams. Let's look at, say, there's actually quite a few different things to show you. Rounded rugs are a new object, for instance. On top of that, huh? You can resize the carpet and do like a full room, chess room thing. So you could design a room, say, let's say we drew a room. Let's just do a temple room. And if this isn't the appropriate amount of spaces for chess, please don't get mad at me. I'm probably painfully aware of that. I just hurried and drew it to quickly give space to do this. Another new feature that I'm going to cover that before, when you want to do erase walls, you had to click on them and left click and drag, or click on them one at a time. You now have a wall eraser brush, which you can just quickly erase the whole area. Saves you a ton of time. So let's say you wanted to make a chessboard. You could use like tile. So I guess you could do like alternating colors. So like a dark marble like this. And then go down and do a lighter color if there is one, like that. Yep, that's the alternate one already. So yeah, I can just take this and draw it. But you could just, if you see what I'm doing here, I'm essentially making a chessboard right now. A full size, like Harry Potter type one. I know this isn't appropriate size. I'm just giving you kind of a proof of concept. And then you could take the chess pieces that we had here. Oversizing them until they're the size you want them. You could do this with statues before, but now we have like specific chess pieces. Nice. That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that, and Vim made it seem that only objects will have the color slider for now, so I think that's probably the safest answer. Unfortunately, I would say close but no cigar there. I was just more showing you these chess pieces because we have a chess table now. Like, damn, that could probably be sized very large on its own too. On this, I want to just show you what I mean. Structural. That big, and then put the chess pieces on that. Yeah, you can. You most definitely can. You could fill it with a circle stone floor or a circle carpet, and that's a great way to use the new tent round structures that we covered earlier. So let's say you hurry and build a room. I'm just going to hurry and kind of throw one together. Then you take a rug, grab one of the round rugs and resize it to fit inside. That could be your tent space. Alternatively, you can combine the round tent walls with, say, flat walls. So let's say you snapped it to something like this on the edge and then put regular tent walls for the rest. So you could have a mixture of round, and this is just a simplistic example, round and flat tent walls. Let's see here. Walls, tent or cloth. And as our previous update with the round walls, they will export line of sight and wall data and light data. So if you incorporate them into your build, what do you mean, Yo Dare? Sorry. Now let's add some cat fur on my face. Landed right on my nose. There's all these varied tent openings. You have like a big tent opening there. Smaller ones, or just kind of like pulled back, draped entrances. You can also change the floor to more environmental if you wanted to. So let's say you don't want these tiles. We could do like a natural stamped earth. We could also just fill it with rugs. Ah, so you want them to only get bigger on one axis. This is what you're saying. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that. I would say that's something I would recommend putting on our upvoty. Upvoty? By the way, everyone, if you are looking at this and you're like, what am I looking at? This is Dungeon Alchemist, an AI-powered map maker. You can find Dungeon Alchemist on Steam. When you purchase Dungeon Alchemist, you're able to make maps and share them with your friends that have copies of Dungeon Alchemist, and you can essentially work together on them. Cool. Ah, that's why. For some reason that particular command was bugged. Fixed it. So you can find Dungeon Alchemist on Steam on the link in chat if you're interested in checking it out. You're like, man, I would love to look at this or possibly buy it. This is Stream Beats by Harris Heller. I'm sure many of you already own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, but, you know, looking at it here, that just wanted to let some of you know if you weren't sure what you were looking at. I'm actually the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. There's also ways to get around stuff like this, too. Like, on the outside, you could take plants and, you know, kind of put them on the edge there where the floor peeks through. If it cut through on the inside, you could put a rug there or something on the floor. Snoo, I'm glad you enjoy it, man, and I appreciate all your contributions. So, there's another killer feature I want to show you. So we've been working on this map a little bit. Yeah, Stream Beats by Harris Heller. He essentially makes music for streamers to use. It's royalty-free, copyright-safe music, and it's designed for streamers to use on their streams. The problem is you can't terrain brush if it's a floor panel. So if I pulled out a terrain, it won't go over that one spot. That's actually technically a floor panel. So you could either delete the floor on that end. There's two ways to approach this. You can delete the floor here, and that will probably delete the wall on top of it, which I'll have to replace, but it's not the end of the... Oh, man. Oh, man. So we can... back there. And notice here, that's where you could say paint over. You can only paint on terrain itself. Like a sandstone. But me, I would cover the inside with like a rug. Something like that in the corner. Turn off and maybe some furniture or something. haven't looked at the roadmap. Raldanch, yeah, here, I'm going to type upvote here in chat. That'll direct you to our roadmap. You could check it out. On our roadmap, you'll be able to see our stretch goals, which are what is promised to be delivered first. Once that's delivered, anything above and beyond that, sci-fi, cyberpunk, Victorian, etc., future, anything like that would be above and beyond our Kickstarter promises, and they likely, if they do consider them, would be released as a paid expansion. So our theme set is limited to fantasy and the variable themes we promised. Here's an object I wanted to showcase for you. A magic carpet. As you can see, it is animated and moves. You can also place objects on it, so I can show you the world. Shining, shimmering, ended. It would also be cool if we had more floors. Like, if we had floor tiles that just matched the sand or the sandstone perfectly, I'd be cool with that. There's also... Let me show you these carpets. There is a particular carpet. This one here is actually... Y'all are going to love this. You're going to kill me for this. 1 second. So you can customize this. So you could put in custom patterns if you want to have a custom carpet. Now this can also be used in other ways, and I'm sure some people's wheels are already spinning. This can actually be used for a token. Can I add my face to the merch? No. No. I will not sell my likeness. Unless I get it cut. I don't know if any round ones do it, but only only any square ones do it. So far, I've only seen a round one that does it. But there are lots of carpets. Magic circle. Yeah, you could use this for a magic circle very easily. Just fill it with like a pentagram or anything light. I think the border is fixed on it. We could just relay to Vim that you don't want the border there when you import an image, so... You know, well, I wish that too. Who knows? Maybe someday. So, I want to show you an amazing new powerhouse feature, and it's been heavily requested by many people. Steam Workshop. I'm sure you see it at the top here. So we worked on this map. Let's say you want to share the map with the world. Steam Workshop, if you open it up, you can publish a map. You can click on the thumbnail and set a custom thumbnail. So let's say you wanted to get into a part of your environment or change the angle at how the thumbnail is perceived. Then you take the screenshot, and now you have a screenshot for your map. Test Oasis. And you could set who has visibility. Is it private, friends only, or public? It is a round carpet that you can customize, but it's in the next update. You can type in the description. Lorem ipsum lazy brown fox jumped over the fence or whatever. I don't know what it is, but anyway. You publish the map, it uploads it to Steam Workshop. It's a round carpet is how it's labeled. And once it's uploaded, you can see it uploaded. Others can see it. They can vote on it, upvote or downvote, rate it, see how many people have voted on or looked at it, how many people have downloaded it, who made it, and you can also unpublish it or edit the info on it. This is essentially the plan is to make Steam Workshop the home of the ecosystem and home for map sharing going forward. Now, you'll still be able to share maps on Discord. I see no reason to remove the Discord channel where people share maps because they enjoy doing it there, and it's a great place to look at it when you can't access Steam throughout the day. But this will be a great location because you can see how people vote on your content, how many people have downloaded it, etc. And this is in a big, huge powerhouse quality of life update in our next, in Fata Morgana, which will be launching before the end of the month. So any of your maps, you can now share them instead of just a damn file in Discord or sharing it with your friends or on Reddit or on whatever. You can now share it on the workshop. Share your damn files to the yep. Give me your damn files. So I've actually uploaded a couple. My Dwarven Prospector mine I did. These will be deleted out before we go live. There's also a few that the devs have put in and uploaded. You can see my test Oasis is in there. There is a skeleton table. Let's download this one really quick. Oh. Yeah. Bound to happen. We do, actually. No! Team thinks Dungeon Alchemist is still running. Crash. Well, we're bound to have some bugs today, like I said, because of we're in beta build right now. They gave me an earlier build that allows us to do some stuff. So we just downloaded this map from Steam Workshop and we were able to access it. I don't know why it bugged out there, but it did. Now, as you could see, I don't have a preview of the electric stuff, but I can show you some. Metal walls in a bit. Okay. You can see here we now have lighting fixtures that can hang from the ceiling. You can change their color. There's quite a few lighting fixtures, actually. Let me show you. Chandeliers, lamps, oil lamps, different style ones, wagon wheel, oil lamps, fancy glass and ornamental lanterns. Yep, this was shared on Discord a few weeks ago, but I'm just kind of showing you how I downloaded it. Yep, I got the entire map. I'm in it. I can edit it, not just the screenshot. I can take my own screenshots. So you can download the source file, edit it to your heart's content, re-upload it and share it as a new map, or just use it in your campaigns. But now, the workshop, after this update, will be the main repository for maps going forward, and I encourage our creators who have been sharing their maps for months on our Discord to share them on our Steam, so we now have them in one centralized, easy-to-locate location. The lantern's height kind of goes up and down depending on whether they're over objects and the size of them. I've noticed there is no way to adjust them on the, I think that's the y-axis or whatever, unless you do these things right now. Gene, Onyx, how you guys doing, by the way? We do have the best damn community in the world. Okay, so you guys want to see metal walls, right? Guys and gals? seeing if there were. Metal. So metal. We're gonna make everything metal. I wonder if there are. I know there's a metal door, but I don't know if I have it or not. Let's find out. I don't think I have it yet in this update. See, I'm missing something. Oh, there it is. Vault door. Dang. Woo! That looks dope. Dope as. That's dope as all. That's a bank door. That's a word, Wang. Where I keep my bones. What do y'all think of these metal walls? There's some that have like a grate. Oh, you know what's great too about cinematic mode is look at these locks. Holy cow. You might say they might say they're pretty metal, Lindsay. It is a highly suggested request on our upvoting. If you want to follow the link in chat, you can check it out. You can vote for it. Object mirroring. If you search it, you can vote for it. Leave your suggestions and comments below, and eventually it'll maybe something we do. Hey, Tandaleon, I'm glad you're here, man. We showed so many of your maps, and you've never been here while we're live. I'm glad you got to check it out. I'm going to drop a couple more links really quick. If you're not already, please join our Discord. It is the central home of all things Dungeon Alchemist. Our community there is so amazingly awesome. They're the best damn community in the world. We have several sections dedicated to getting support, such as the question forum or support forum. We have general chat, GM chat. You can chat with other GMs and get tips and tricks around the different tools they use or tricks for your, your campaign or homebrews. We have an area where you can share your maps. The latest information about Dungeon Alchemist is always shared in our in our Discord, such as the announcement for this stream or teasers for the Fata Morgana update slated for release later this month. There are no roofs currently, but in VTTs, you can just block line of sight into that room and make it a black space. So until they go in, they can't see inside, and when they're inside, they can't see outside. I mean, most of that solution is usually done on the VTT end or back end. Now, I understand, say, if it's a house or something that's printed on a tabletop, or maybe you're using a, in a tabletop situation, there's many ways to fix that on the back end using, say, photo editing. You can download some just cartoon roof types and put them on top of your existing structures. There's video demos about using prefab building shapes and then putting the roofs on top of them. Some people use DA as a VTT. I've seen it, actually. quite a few players will actually just put the map right in onto their like flat screen. They they'll export a JPEG and then they'll do like an image display on the screen of that JPEG, and then their players will put their tokens on top of the screen, right? And then if they want to get a closer look at something, they'll open the map up and zoom in and look at it. Now, sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Let me get back to looking at what we were in here. Should we do another giveaway? What do y'all think? I haven't covered that. So most of everything I wanted to cover today, I have covered. There are a few things I'm keeping my lips sealed about. See my cursor there. We'll talk about that next Saturday. But I want to leave chat open to field questions about Fata Morgana for the next few minutes. We're not going to be done until about 2 p.m. Pacific, so that's about 20 minutes from now. So for the next 15-20 minutes, I'd like to answer questions, and we'll look at different objects and stuff. Geronimo, you just wanted to ask? You know, honestly, I would love to share it with you, and I just can't. I've been given very strict instructions that is the only part of the build that's basically off limits right now for stream and socials. So until they fine tune it and get it to a position they want it, I can't share it. But how you doing? Hello there, Geronimo. It will be active when Fata launches. By the end of the month, you'll get access to this cinematic mode. You click on it, and now you have control of the camera. You can get in close, back out far away, get in it like a first-person mode and kind of go through stuff, and get in and take really crazy detailed screenshots. So if you notice the UI at the top, it says F to take a screenshot and R to record. When you press F to do a screenshot, it will prompt you to name said screenshot, and then you can save it. It saves it as a JPEG. The bones are their money. Okay, save that really quick. Honestly, we're delaying the damn challenge for a couple of weeks because these reveal streams, there's so much to go over and share. I didn't want to detract from the damn challenge or detract from the Fata Morgana reveal either way. So basically, we're not going to do the damn challenge winners or announcements or announce a new damn challenge until after Fata launches. It's so close, but so far away. All I can say is near the end of the month, you'll be able to get this update, unless it's all just a mirage. Dewey, that's funny. So every week on stream, for those of you that are new, I do what's called a damn challenge. And I throw out a challenge, and it's usually a 1 to 2 word description or theme, and you use that theme to make a map and submit it on our Discord. And I'll probably continue using the Discord as the home of the damn challenge because it'll be harder to track them in the Steam Workshop, for me at least, because there are going to be lots of maps submitted there. So I would say we'll probably continue using the Discord, and we'll just create a thread, and that will be where you submit your maps. This last week, the challenge was Shrine. So using that as a theme, people build a map of any shape or size and submit it, and then I pick a winner, sometimes 2. Honestly, Highland, I typically prefer we only do 1 entry per person. If you feel compelled to do another entry, I'm not going to be mad about it, but typically I will only pick 1 as the entry, you know? Unfortunately, you won't be able to submit well, maybe, I guess. No, actually, well, Shoot, possibly. I don't know. So let's go ahead and do a giveaway. We talked about it a few minutes ago. We're going to give away another copy of Dungeon Alchemist in celebration of the Fata Morgana reveal. If you already own a copy, feel free to enter again. However, if you won earlier, i.e. Dead Meat Gaming, you cannot enter again. I'm going to put the giveaway up for... Screenshot mode, making everything weird. I'm going to put the giveaway up for 10 minutes, and it is for a Dungeon Alchemist Steam key. And the instructions to enter will be in chat momentarily. You can enter once. You must be following the stream to enter. And the winner will be announced at the end of that 10 minutes. It's automatically drawn from everyone that enters. If you win the key, I will whisper it to you here on Twitch. You can message me first when you win, and then I'll whisper you the key, and then you can give it to a friend, family member. If you already own a copy, give it as a gift to someone, or you could use it for yourself if you don't own it already. Remember, you all, you must be a follower, so hit that follow button if you haven't already, then enter. And you can only enter one time. I have one other map I kind of built in preparation for this I wanted to share with you guys. So, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I'm sure a lot of you are. But, you know, it's a great supplement to 5e, and it includes some new Warlock subclasses, or Warlock packs. And one of them is the Genie Warlock, and I've always been very interested in that particular pact, because they get a feature at their an ability at their level 1 ability is called Bottled Respite, or Bottled Respite, and essentially they give you a little object that could be, you know, a genie lamp. It could be a ring. You could pick the whatever it is. Me personally, I'd pick a ring, or like a, you know, an earring or something small and not look fashionable or fancy. And you can use an action to enter it like a genie's lamp. Like I Dream of Genie, you could be inside of it, and you can hear what's outside. It's kind of like an extra dimensional space. It's a pocket dimension, and it's basically, I've always had the dream of building one, because they explain it and they say there's pillows and tables and, you know, beautiful lamps and furniture. And so I started building one a little bit earlier. This would be my Bottled Respite. And you cannot bring a bag of holding or portable hole into it, unfortunately, unless your DM's cool, because they say you can't combine them as extra dimensional spaces. However, yeah, it can be destroyed if it's, basically when you enter it, it's left outside. So let's say it was a ring. You could place the ring, bury it underground, and enter it, and then the ring is kind of like, it could be found still. If someone finds it, they could destroy it, and you're harmlessly shunted outside. If not, you could also summon a new vessel. If you, there's so many weird ways around this. You could fill this up with water, let's say, or rocks, or acid, or undead. And then you could go have a familiar, drop it above like the enemy's base, and then you could, or the enemies, and then you could do a ritual that takes an hour and makes a new one, and then the old one's destroyed. There's so many silly things you could do with this thing. And it's a 20-foot radius, so that's 40 feet across. You know, from here to here is 40 feet. It's a pretty big space, and it's 20 feet tall, so you technically could have 2 floors. It's a pretty neat thing, and I plan to make 2 floors for it and kind of have fun with it. Remember, if you want to enter the giveaway, you must be following the stream to enter, and you must type !damn. Hot damn! Baba Yaga's Wandering Shack would be a cool one to make too. If you, the giveaway you're entering is for a copy of Dungeon Alchemist. That is what you're looking at right now. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map maker that allows you to build battle maps and environmental maps in a snap. It also allows you to roll up your sleeves and build meticulously detailed maps by hand if you want to. There's no limitation here. You can really build whatever you want, and that's the best thing about it. So here, this is what I dream is my bottled Respite, the inside of my Genie's vessel. And I started building it. I wasn't done. I was going to kind of work on it during the stream. But as you can see, there's a lot of things that are here. We've got a little pool in the center, magic carpet, the hookah, the different hanging lights. The only limitation is your own imagination, especially when you take and use things like our collision toggle, because it allows you to merge objects together when it's off, and combining objects makes you essentially have an infinite palette of objects, because you can combine them together to make more objects, unique new objects. So what is my favorite new item, Lindsay asks? Let's go into the favorite objects and I'll show you. I honestly went through and tagged a bunch of them to show you all, just in case I didn't cover them. But a couple of my favorite new items, we have this beautiful new statue, the Sphinx, which we showed a couple of months ago on as a teaser in our Discord. Another one that I really like is the telescope. We've been asked a lot of times for a telescope. Not gonna lie, that was amazing. Look at this. Get into cinematic mode while this. And I could also see some of our creators using this as a cannon on airships. See your house from here? Hell on this guy is insane. Oh man. Honestly, our artists are so incredibly talented. Yep, the butt load. You guys want to see the butt load? Let's look at it. Right, Geronimo, you don't know. I think someone would cleverly say that's a cannon and it just looks like it's actively doing something. So here we have a butt load. There's actually another new cannon, and I'm hoping we can get cannonballs. So prior to this, we had kind of just the mortar style cannon, and now we have this big one. And this one actually has the color wheel on it, so you can kind of adjust the base of it at least. Per my last email, yes. That was actually Vim's post. Vim gets a little bit more passive-aggressive and memey in his post than I do, because I'm always worried I might cross the line. But Vim can't cross the line because he makes the line. 2 minutes left to enter the giveaway. If you haven't already, hit that follow button and type !damn for a chance to win a copy of Dungeon Alchemist. So I've actually favorited a bunch of objects already, which I said there's the ability to favorite. What I would love ultimately is a hot bar, like in MMOs down here with all the squares, and you could just drag an item down to that and put it in the hot bar, but also a tool. Not just an item, but any of our tools. Say you wanted to drag the eraser down and create a custom toolbar. That's my wish as the community manager, and I'm going to pass that on to the devs. But right now, at least to start, you have the option to favorite your objects, and they'll be in this panel here. And as you can see, there's lots of new objects. They do have the conductors in here, but they're not functional yet. So unfortunately, I can't show you the electrical. That was in a build that Vim has, but it is on our Twitter. It is in our Discord if you want to check out the electricity. Got this like neat little door knocker there. So there's actually a battery. This is I don't know if you're familiar with it, related to the historical object. It's called the Baghdad Battery. And essentially, it is an object they found that they're pretty sure is one of the first and earliest batteries. And this is basically loosely based on it. But these cells, they're like Tesla coils, and when you can actually do an interaction between them with an electricity beam in the final update. I don't have access to that, so I can't showcase it. Let's see here. So the camera currently hits objects and gets stuck. And I asked Carl about this. I said that the camera should freely pass through objects. The only thing it should stop is the ground, because it should be like a free roaming drone. Hey, no problem, Micah. You're welcome back anytime, guy. Thank you for being here. Vance Duke, congratulations. Are you here? Congratulations, Vance. I need you to claim that if you're still here. Let's see if we can test that really. Or a lever. Well, I thought they could be toggled. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope, they cannot be interacted with. So it looks like these cannot. I was wrong. I assumed that possibly switches could because the lamps could, but when you're in this cinematic mode, you can interact with the light sources and left click on them and disable them. So like if there's a lamp burning. Hold on. Okay. No, they had amount of time to claim it. Hold on. Vance Duke was still here. I don't know why it announced 2 winners, and I apologize, Jay. It shouldn't have done that. Happened. Hold on 1 second. Let me look at this. Yeah, Vance said yes instead of claim. I'm gonna still, you know what? I'm gonna be a good CM, and I'll give out 2 copies. I'll give it to both of you, okay? Because I feel bad ruining it for one or the other. But yeah, it looks like it required a claim. I'm gonna just take that off from now on. I'm very new to this bot, so I'm learning it, and I apologize for that. So Vance Duke and Jay 3A, please whisper me here on Twitch, and we'll give you both a copy. Honestly, we hit more than enough viewers to do both. And I feel bad. That was my mistake, so I messed that up, and I'll make sure to make good on it. Congratulations to you both. If you could whisper me here, the Dungeon Alchemist count on. I too said yes to code. What are you talking about? I mean, everyone could say yes to the code. Hold on, I'm trying to look up early. Are you on PC or mobile? PC? Okay, so on the top right of the screen, there's a little icon next to your account avatar that looks kind of like a chat box. That's for whispers. And you could just search Dungeon Alchemist. Or I believe there's a way to just click whisper right on me here, right in chat. I'm not 100% certain either. Second. Okay, I got one from Jay. Vance, I need you to whisper me really quick. Okay? Why is it so quiet? Maybe the mic's not picking me up at the moment, or your volume is low. Vance, if you could... Vance, are you on PC or mobile? It's very important that you tell me which one you're on. Or you can, yeah, I guess click on the name. I'll type in chat and you can say something to me. Well, we just did a giveaway and I'm sorting it out right now, so that's probably why. By the way, we're also kind of wrapping up the stream, so if you guys and gals have any questions about the Fata Morgana update and anything we covered today, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer it before we end the stream. Next Saturday, same damn time, same damn channel, we will be back with the second part of our Fata Morgana reveal. If you thought I had a lot to share today, I also have a lot more to share next week. We will be covering a lot of the same stuff for those who may have missed it this week, but we also have a few new interesting things to share. We're not going to end the stream until I sort out these giveaways. 1 second. So click on my name in chat and you might be able to click whisper on it. It'll give you an option to whisper me. You see my name in chat there, Vance? No problem. If you enjoyed the stream, he's on an iPad, so it's a mobile app, which is going to be a little bit different. Let me just look, okay? So there's this new icon in the top right here, Grumpy. You hit it, it's cinematic mode, and you now can move the camera freely with your mouse and the WASD, Q, and E keys. Spacebar goes up and down, Q and E go up and down. You move forward. You can interact with the environment, such as lights, turn them off and on by left-clicking on them. There's a tutorial that walks you through it the first time you open it, and you can also take screenshots. So you wanted a screenshot really quickly, you can do that. You type in the name and save it wherever you want. It'll save as a JPEG at the resolution you are using in Dungeon Alchemist at that time. So I'm 1920 by 1080. It'll do it at that resolution. If I screen record, cinematic recording, it'll record it at 1920 by 1080 or whatever resolution you're set at as an MP4. No, you're looking for the Dungeon Alchemist account. Sorry. Here I am I'm Dungeon Alchemist. Okay. I suppose I could. Here, I just whispered you actually, Vance, to save you trouble. Sorry. Man, I am not super wise on all the Twitch stuff because I haven't been streaming on Twitch for years. I used to be Mixer and now I'm partnered on Facebook. I stream on Twitch for Dungeon Alchemist and I've been doing it now for like 3 months. Okay, I'm gonna just hurry and send off these keys really quickly. One moment, gentlemen. First one. Duke, I just sent yours off. If you could confirm in chat that you got it. Okay. Yours now. Congratulations, gentlemen. Sorry about that. Ladies, gentlemen, and whatever your preferred pronoun may be. I apologize for assuming gender there. I just, it's a habit that I got to break. But anyway, thank you so much. There was a support thread in our Discord called Mac Performance, and I couldn't help myself because it was talking about, performance on a Mac computer, but I was like, I always thought my performance was average. So, congratulations to the winners of the keys today, Dead Meat Gaming, Vance Duke, and J3A. Thank you so much for being a part of the streams, each and every one of you for being here. Today's stream was by and large the biggest stream we've ever had on Twitch. I think up to this point we maybe peaked out at about 50 viewers. I think we might have even hit 200 for a moment earlier. I want to say thank you, and we've had a consistent viewership of about 150 to the last 10 minutes or so. That is insane considering we have people coming and going constantly. That's very good viewership for Dungeon Alchemist. I appreciate you all being here, showing your support, checking out the new Fata Morgana content, seeing everything we could reveal. Remember, I did not reveal all of our coolest stuff this week. I've got some more stuff to share next week. So make sure you mark your calendars, and after today's stream, I'll put an event in our Discord letting you know about the stream so you can RSVP. Yep, I will indeed have an update. I'll be reminding you all on our socials all week so you can try and make it next week. We'll be here, same damn time, same damn channel. Again, I am Mac, your community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll be back next Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. UTC. I hope the DA community is going to be getting bigger. I think we had a lot. You know what? Really quickly before I take off, who do we have here that's new, that's never used Dungeon Alchemist before? Maybe you're kind of just checking it out and you're like, I don't know what this is, or you're like maybe researching maybe whether or not you want to buy it. First and foremost, I want to say welcome to you all, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes. If this is your first time seeing DA, I'd love to know, just a quick raise of hands. If you are, I know a lot of your faces, so Critfest, Old Man Garrus, if you guys, gals, people, have any questions about this, and you're like, what am I looking at? No problem, Sight for Psoriasis. Thank you for being here. So, first off, Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility that's available on Steam. It uses AI to allow you to quickly draw environments or rooms. So let me give you an example really quickly before. And you may know this already, but if not, for those of you that are new here, just popping in. So I'm going to make a, let's say, desert environment with a crater with an oasis, and we'll put it at water level. Oh no, and by the way, I am in beta right now, a beta build, so some of it is very funky. It crashes. It's crashed a couple times on the stream. That's why I put that watermark there so y'all would know. So I apologize for the crash. We're going to have to reload Dungeon Alchemist. It actually hasn't crashed loading a new environment at all today. That was the first time. It's only crashed loading existing maps. If you're interested in checking out Dungeon Alchemist, you can see it on Steam. Okay. So this here is an Oasis Crater in the middle of the desert that we just randomly generated. Took a little bit longer because of the crash. Let's say you don't like this one. Let's change it a little bit. Make it a bit different. And keep changing it over and over again using our change terrain tool. Maybe you don't like the oasis. You want it to be a river instead. Throw a river through it. there's there's lake craters all over the place, right? There's literally a crater in the U.S. called Crater Lake, a crater lake in Oregon. Feel free, Yo Dare. I love it when y'all share your creations. But the thing about Dungeon Alchemist is I'm sure many of you are GMs, DMs. It takes the map making portion of your session prep and turns it into minutes. You know, many people spend hours a week prepping for sessions, either looking for a very specific map online or on Patreons or building one custom. And you can build environmental maps in a snap. And I love bringing up this example, but how many of you have spent hours preparing a session and you're gently guiding your players down a certain path that you've prepared for, but they want to go somewhere completely off the beaten path and you have no preparation for it? How often has this happened to you? Right, Lady Bird? For sure. For sure. Oh, you did nothing wrong, Vance. You did nothing wrong, my man. That was all on me. So, exactly. So either you play in an open world where you give your players complete flexibility, or maybe you had a session that you kind of were railroading their path, not so much what would happen during it, but you maybe wanted them to go down this forest path or head towards this mountain, and you gave them this very, very clear path to take, and they instead go, oh, this session, we want to go into the forest, right? Or we want to go check out this desert that we haven't seen before. Um, Sean, I've never been to Crater Lake. I do want to go visit it someday. I think it's beautiful. I fly over it in flight sim all the time because it's awesome. And it's just a really cool place. It seems awesome. I want to go visit the old man of the lake. There's like that log that floats in it vertically. It's in it for like over 100 years. It's like a really cool, it's like 20 feet long and it floats vertically because of how waterlogged it is. But yeah, no, I'm just a passion. Someday I want to kind of like I want to be nomadic and live minimalistic and just kind of like live in an RV or a bus someday and travel. Fantasy Grounds, can you do screenshot handouts? Gygaxium. So ultimately, I'd probably get like Starlink or something. But so Gygaxium, obviously it would export in the top down like this, right? But you can always get into, say, the cinematic mode, zoom in close, maybe record a video or take some screenshots for a handout to kind of further explain the environment, or even for maybe a theater of the mind piece. But imagine you're doing like, they could say that they took this ravine with a rowboat and went through it, and you illustrate that by recording this and going through it at this level. You know, things like that. Um, but I love the cinematic mode that we're adding because you can take screenshots, you know, of a very beautifully detailed scene you made, or record something, maybe a chase scene, or like I explained earlier, like maybe you walk into a tavern for the first time and they peer around and look at the environment at a first person. And so it triggers, like in Foundry or in Fantasy Grounds, I'm almost positive, or possibly even Roll20, you can have a script that triggers, or a module that triggers when they go into this place for the first time to play this handout or this video. And that would be an exceptionally cool way to utilize this. Or, you know, you can record scenery, etc. Yeah, exactly. You could do these screenshots on the fly, or maybe they want a better description of the canyon, and they did a flyby with their familiar or something, and now you can get in and dive in and do a close dive in for them, and get a better shot. Yeah, the cinematic mode, we revealed that earlier in the stream, but I wanted to showcase it a little bit more. When you're in cinematic mode, you see the UI at the top, but it actually takes screenshots and recordings without the UI. It hides it all. And when you press F, it does a screenshot, and the resolution you're set at in a JPEG When you do R for recording, it records until you press R again, and then it exports as an MP4 at the angle. Oh man. So, honestly, I'm very excited about this update, and I was so excited to share with you all the new content in today's update. There's so much to it. Next Saturday, as I said earlier, we will be sharing a whole bunch more content, and with any luck, I'll have a very crazy reveal for you. So just kind of like, stay excited, stay hyped, and know that there is still more to share next week. Oh, you know what? I love being a part of this community. Honestly, I was a fan of Dungeon Alchemist before I became the community manager. And I just love that I even get to be more a part of the community now as the community manager. To get to work with you, all the creators, see your streams and your content you share, your maps. Well, Will, for those of you who aren't in our Discord, please join if you're not already. This is a reminder. Oops, probably. I'm so used to using that link there. If you follow that link and join our Discord server, later today I will put in an event. The event, if you are interested or RSVP to the event, it'll give you a reminder on your wherever you get Discord, if it's on your PC, a mobile device, whatever. It'll give you a reminder when I go live next week. We'll also do a series of announcements throughout the week as we get closer on our socials, such as Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and possibly one more at everyone announcement. Now, some of you hate that, but it is a tool used for us to convey information and announcements to our Discord. And a big reveal, the more revealed content that will be coming out with Fata, I think that's garners and is worth using an at everyone. Yes, there is more to share. So we actually have more. I saved some. Some of what we covered this week will repeat next week, just so if anyone missed it, but we have also some crazy reveal stuff that we have not shared yet. So I want to just personally say thank you. Again, I am Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making utility available on Steam. It allows you to build maps in a snap by using AI-generated environment or room generation. In addition to that, you can roll up your sleeves and build the maps of your dreams. Just dropped a link for it in chat. If you're not familiar where to find our product, you can click that and check it out. Please bookmark it or add it to your wish list on Steam. And please make sure you add to your calendar next Saturday, same damn time, same damn channel, right here on Twitch, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. Again, Mac, your community manager, and we'll see you next damn time.